Now then, it's been a while. Welcome back to the Gaming Pantry. This is the Retro Bear, welcoming you to a new video. And it's going to be, well, a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff's gone under the bridge since last spoke to you. But yeah, we'll try and keep it as brief as possible. There's no easy way of saying that whatsoever, is there? Yeah, so hope you're all well. And yeah, I've not been well. Well, we just backtrack a couple. We had Revival, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago, which was tremendously well supported up at the old Wolverhampton Dunstall Park racecourse. First time I've ever been there. Actually, first time I've ever been to a racecourse, which is really weird. And Mrs. Bear was stalling out, but it was a big expo for the weekend, not a gaming market, an expo. And people turned up in their thousands, literally, probably about 1,200 people through the door across the course of the weekend. And it was just an amazing experience. Mrs. Bear had a very successful event. She sold a few things. She gave out lots of flyers and leaflets, spoke to lots of different people, took extra repairs on, had lots of inquiries since then. Couldn't have gone any better, really. So, you know, a massive thank you to Craig Turner and all his team for putting on a fabulous event. I think everybody had a good time, and there were so many people there. I mean, I'd like to reel off the entire list. I pride myself on remembering everybody, but obviously bear in mind this was about 3 weeks ago now. Yeah, 3 weeks ago today, and where I'm filming this, and it's just absolutely manic to try and remember everybody, and I don't offend anybody by leaving them out. So I'll try and remember everybody, and I'll stick links below of people who I met that day. I'm going to just mention some names because some people I met for the very first time. This is the great thing about it. I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, great to see all the usual crew that I usually knock about with at these events, and have come to call friends and very close friends over the last few years through doing this. It's always a bonus. But yes, there's just so many different people I met for the very first time. Gordon, Gib84, I'm going to do a live stream with in November. Gordon came all the way down from Scotland. What commitment that is. Lost his wallet as well. You think he found it? I don't think he found it afterwards, but he was with Paul the Ignore who sorted him out. But yeah, great to meet Gordon for the first time. Who else I met for the first time? Paul Retrobait. I've been on the quiz. He did a quiz a couple of years ago. Done a few streams with Paul over the years. What a lovely guy he is. Cy Ginger Hipper Gaming came over and said hello. Good conversation about all that stuff that he found in that disused shop, which he saved, which was nice to meet Cy for the first time as well. That was good. Lee Nerdy Geezer, wish we had more time to talk. Only came over a quick chat, but couldn't spend more time with him. But yeah, Lee had been following for a long time, and again done a few streams with Lee as well. Great to meet him briefly the first time. I'm sure there'll be more of an opportunity to have a chat in the future. There was Martin at the Hobby Lodge, who just got back from the D-Day commemorations that week. I think he'd broken his hand, while he wasn't shaking anybody's hand that day. He said something about that. Nice to meet him. Had a couple of chats with him as well. We spoke to Mr. Bear about a couple of things. Sega Zombie, Scott, who I've probably known on YouTube for about near enough 4-5 years, maybe a little bit longer. Never met him before. Got him into the old YouTube of the month thing, which I've apologised for profusely many times since then, and indeed at that weekend. But yeah, first time I ever met Scott, we had a big hug, which we said we were going to do. We said all these years, first time we're going to meet for a big hug, we had a big hug. That was really good. Fantastic to meet Scott finally. What a great guy he is. Really, really chatty. Who else? This is the first. Pixel Plug, who crops up on some of the live streams in the comments. Lives not very far from here. Great to meet you in person for the first time. That was really, really nice of you to come over and say hello, and had a quick chat with you about stuff there. Really, really nice to meet you. I'm trying to think who else was there. I'm going to forget people. I'm going to forget people for the first time, aren't I? I'm sure there were more. But I said the usual lot. There was Dylan, Eddie, Sean, Paul, James, Retro Import Gamer, saw James as well. He was there. Obviously, the usual guys stalling out: Tootie, Darren, Dana, and Leaf and Sore Thumbs was there. I think Japanese Alan was there. Nick from Vintage Gamer with my mate Phil, who was there on the Sunday. Fob was stalling out as well. Matt from Light Gun Games was there. I know it's going to be people I've missed out. I know all the people I haven't seen for ages. Big Mike, without further ado, Retro. Pedro from the VHS Bootleggers. I've done so many streams and things with Pedro over the last few years. We only met once, and that was 5 years ago, nearly now, 5 years ago, July this year. But, you know, great conversation, 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes outside with him. It was just fantastic. If I've missed anybody off that, and I missed anybody off the list, I am sorry. I am only human. I am nearly 49. But yeah, I mean, you know, whether I met you for the first time or whether I met you again over the, you know, more and more, it's just been fantastic. It really was a great event. I really enjoyed doing it. It was a long weekend. I must be honest with you, I'm really glad I took the Monday off, because we were both absolutely knackered. So we set up on the Friday, went across a few hours on the Friday, set up, came back on the Saturday, found out that we'd been sort of, where our tables, we'd been sort of surrounded, which was a bit off-putting really, but nonetheless, what it was a decent spot. We got a lot of traffic through. It was just great. Did I get anything? No, I didn't buy anything. I had to walk around a few times. Did I play any machines? No. There's a lot of walking around. a fair bit of that as well, just to keep things ticking over. But yeah, it was really, really good. Really, really good. Well run, fantastic event, and you know, I know they've got plans to do things slightly differently going forward, but I would hope they would do one big event a year like that, because, you know, it shows that there is such a market for it. And you know, if you did come over and visit yourselves today, thank you very much for coming over and supporting Claire. That's the main thing about it. That's the reason we're here. Yes, we did have a box of tat. I did take a box of tat. We sold some of it as well. Not all of it. Still got a lot of it left, but you know, the tat box, yeah, that worked. Good idea that was. Let us address the game in the room. I've got 10 minutes. Barja, Edge of Control, racing game on the 360. I've been playing that. Actually, I came here to do a video, and I've been playing it for a couple of hours. Not bad, actually. Not bad. Nice little racing game, that one. As always, slippery controls because of these giant dune buggy type things, which are really difficult in real life, I understand, to control. So, yeah, that's really good. So if you find that one out and about, do so. Not that there's many 360 games out and about at the moment, from what I understand. Everybody seems to be buying them up for some reason. I don't know why. And then what's happened since, and why haven't I done anything since Revival? I did a video after Revival. They often did videos after Revival. I didn't. Well, oh yes, I completely forgot. Time Warp James. I knew it. I can't forget. Time Warp James. So I've spent many a Wrestle Talk live stream on Pedro's channel. James, great to meet you. And Jay, Flashback TNT as well. I knew I'd forget people. I knew I would do. But those two guys, I mean, Johnny Kate decided to come down the night before. And I think he came down from Newcastle way-ish, I think. Yeah, literally last minute decision. So yeah, I didn't forget that. But James and Jay, well, great pleasure to meet you both the first time as well. And I think across that weekend, some people came for the Saturday, some people came for both days, some people were meant to come for the second day and didn't make it. Some people didn't even make it the first day. Quite a few that were nursing hangovers both days, but yes, anyway, great event. So what happened after that? Well, after that, I went back to work on the Tuesday, and for some reason, when I got home in the evening, I appeared to be struck down by an ear infection. I don't know, I've still got deafness in this ear at the moment. It's where it came from. I came home from work, sat down, fell asleep for a bit, and then woke up, and my ear had gone deaf, and I got a pain running down the inside of my throat here. And for the next week, my entire throat felt like somebody had been just like repeatedly punching it. It wasn't a sore throat. We don't have a sore throat which triggers off a cough. It's sort of, it hurt. As if somebody had pulled all the muscles out of my throat. It was horrible. That then sort of developed into a bit of a cold at the end of the week. So I went up to here, a little bit onto my chest, a little bit up here, a little bit here. Didn't go any further than that. I'm still half deaf. All the pain seems to have gone now. That disappeared middle of last week. But I don't know, again, having hallucinations with it. At night not sleeping properly. And because I was so tired, I was hallucinating things were going on. It was a really, really weird time, and I had to take a couple of days off work because it just run me down so much. So I got over that, and then as I got over that, Mrs. Bear this week fell ill. About Tuesday or so, she began to feel really rough. If you remember a couple of Christmas 2022, she was pretty ill. The week before Christmas, she was practically flat out with a heavy cold. She got exactly the same thing: heavy cold, chesty cough, lost her voice. So I don't know whether we've had I know there's a lot of COVID knocking about again at the moment. Remember COVID? Quite popular 4 years ago. I know people who told me they've got people who know they've got COVID again. I'm just wondering whether or not I had, whether mine was an ear infection or was COVID, and I've passed it. Because she hasn't seen anybody. We've seen pretty much the same people, and apart from that, I don't know. I mean, we saw James' Retro Import game the weekend after Revival, and that was the end of the first week of feeling pretty rough. I felt pretty alright on the Saturday. By the time Saturday afternoon had come and James had gone, I began to feel rough again, and that's when I really started to go downhill. So I don't know, but she's not been very well all week, so she's doing her best to respond to messages people are sending her through it, but she's been off her feet again. The coughing's really bad. The coughing's the worst bit about it. I think if it wasn't for the coughing, she'd be alright, but yeah, she's really had a rough week, so we were expecting somebody to come and stay with us for a few days this week, but thankfully that fell apart for other reasons, like my car, which has also fallen apart again. Got some issues with the handbrake. We'll get the handbrake cables changed. It's going to be another 250 quid. So that's another. So really could have done with knowing about. I know Mrs. Baby sitting there saying, "You've known about that for months." She just said, "Yeah." Before I bought all this stuff here, which is sitting in front of me, because we have some pickups to do. Yes, I have some pickups to do. I'd also like to say, hope you've caught the latest episode of BJ and the Bear with me and Jace from retrogames.co.uk. Try and drop one of these in every couple of 3 weeks or so. We're going to record another episode next week because I think Jace's got some things planned in for the next two, so definitely one more in the pipeline anyway. But if you haven't seen it, that went out on Friday, just gone. It's just me and him talking, and we're not just talking games, and we're not just, it's not a promotional tool for Jace's business or anything like that. It's just two people who get on and talk randomly about stuff, and we do talk randomly about stuff. We start talking about games with every intention, and then we end up talking about Finder's crispy pancakes later on. It's that sort of thing. But people who watch it and listen to it seem to like it, so please go and have a go on that one. Right, so let's get on to some pickups. I did some pickups. I bought some pickups already from Jace, a couple of games from there. Went out last weekend, went to Vintage Gamer, so I've got a lot of stuff from there. I've got some stuff from the week before, and I've also got a car boot pickup and a couple of gifts. So let's do the couple of gifts first, because they came from Revival. Came from Gordon. Dear Gordon, he's given me a few things over the years. I'd like it. A lot of people give me things saying, I haven't got one of these anymore, or I haven't got one, but I know you have. Which is pretty impossible for me not to have, because I've got pretty much most of anything. So he's given me on the Amstrad a copy of Flimbo's Quest, which is a platform game, which I think I've got on the Amiga, and possibly some other label as well, but that's actually the cardboard version, because we do like the old 8-bit cardboard, don't we? And it's in nice condition. There's the manual, there's the tape in there as well. Tape is alright, a bit scuffed at the front, but that's fine. But as a freebie, you can't knock free. It was very generous of Gordon to bring that with him. As a look at the back of the box, you can't see an awful lot on there. They're Amiga screenshots, so obviously they're not going to be the ones there, but I remember that from back then. I think it got reasonably good reviews at the time, but yeah, nice to have an Amstrad game. That's nice when I find it. It's the only Amstrad game I've got, I think, this time as well. Yeah, so that's good. Now, some of you with long memories may remember a couple of years ago I made a comment about Scottish people on the TMB. Yes, along the lines of the fact that that they didn't have access to things like fruit and toothpaste and soap. So Gordon thought it'd be a good idea to bring me down some soap. Which is great. I haven't opened it yet. It's not that time of the month to have a bath, you know what I mean? But yes, no, so Thank you again, Gordon. For that. I showed Sean this. Sean was there at the show. He said, look what Gordon bought me. He says, why has he bought you soap? I said, don't you remember? He said, oh, no, I don't remember that now. So I think anybody remembers it. Well, I think I know one other person might remember my comment about that as well. I'm sure he'll have something to say about it. But yes, so thank you very much for that, Gordon. He's already made reference to toothpaste in a message he sent me about the live stream. So obviously, I take it you're still out of fruit. Yeah, not to worry. I'm going to be pelted by fruit when I arrive in Scotland in November, aren't I? I think that's what's going to happen. Oh, dear me. Right, so anyway, after that, and now I'm desperately trying to find out what I've done with that. Where's that gone? Oh, man. Right, so after that, now there we go. So that was Revival. Then the week after, I bought a couple of stuff, items from Jace at retrogames.co.uk. Just because they went to his bargain basement. Someone's going to buy the rubbish, haven't they? He must just offer to me first, and I'll take what I want. So I've got picked up an Amiga game, and this is Batman the Movie. Now, the more attuned to you will wonder why there are two ocean stickers on the front of it. That's because there was a sticker given away with the game at the time, which I think was the Batman logo, the ocean label underneath it, possibly, I can't remember. And that's the sticker off it. So basically someone's just put the sticker on that. But that is the box that came with my Amiga 500. Not the original one, because that one went down the tip a very long time ago. But this replaces the one that I had originally. So for me, it's a nostalgia thing. And also the game that John donated me, his copy. The Hit Squad one, sadly, I've probably moulded up beyond working. It doesn't work. It loads so far it won't go any further, and basically it stops the Amiga from working, and the Amiga has to be clean then. So I think there's a real mould problem with that disc, but I'm glad to get this one anyway. And unlike the Hit Squad version, this is actually a 2-discer. The Hit Squad version is 1 disc. It also says on the front there, free with the Amiga 500 pack. So it's just nostalgia for me to replace that. And the instructions are in pretty good condition as well. Very nicely done. But yeah, I mean, I love this game. I played it a few months back on Amiga 500, A500 mini gameplay. Just one of my favourite games of all time. And like I said, it's a nostalgia thing. Gotta have it. Excuse me. So I picked it up, and then I saw this at Revival the week before. I think Saw Thumbs was selling it, but this is their copy was battered. And battered beyond belief. Cardboard was broken. There were bits of yellow sellotape around the outside, a big sticker smack bang in the middle of the box, and then lo and behold, it pops up on Jace's site, doesn't it? Not the same copy, a different one. It's still a bit rough around the edges, but there's no manual for a start. But the box is slightly better, and it's a Commodore 64 compilation of 5 sports games. Now, this doesn't actually have a name as far as I can see. So if anybody does know the name of this compilation, please let me go. It might be called 5 Brilliant Sports Action Games. Yeah, and you can see the games that are on there. Adidas Championship Football, Pro Tennis Tour, Run the Gauntlet, which is a TV show. I remember playing that years back. Then we've got Basket Master, which appears on Game Set and Match, I believe. And Beach Volley. Now, Beach Volley was a game I had on the Amiga. I used to love playing that game. Really, really good game. So I said, the box is a bit bashed. All the tapes are in there anyway, as they should be. No instructions. But I think that the two are definitely the better quality in terms of box, etc. with it. And just nice to see that pop. You don't see that one all that often. There is a bit of scuffing around the box there, but again, it's be tidied up with a bit of sellotape and glue or whatever, or something. But compared to the copy, that was much better, and the price was the same as well. So it's a good thing to pick up. But yeah, nice to have that. Another compilation. Must do a video on compilation. I don't know how many I've got. So that was the week. That was the Sunday after Revival. No, Monday after Revival. I think, or was it Sunday night? It might have been a Sunday night. Then on the following Saturday, I mentioned James Retro Import Gamer came across. He came across on the Friday to drop something in for Mrs. Bear for a quick repair on an LED. I think it was an old, the original Invader, Galaxy Invader, which he did by Saturday morning. He came by Saturday morning. He stayed for a little bit, and then we managed to twist his arm to coming out with us. So he came with us to we went down to Sega Supplies in Cradley. Mrs. Bear picked up a few items for restoration from there. And I picked this up. And this was it's actually for my Master System collection. And I've got 3 games that I've got loose cartridge. I've now got 2 because I found the box. Not only did I find the box, but I also the instructions are in there as well. And the instructions and the box tick off all the tick boxes, for want of a bit of a word. Like the manual has to be in good condition. It has to have the hang tab, and it's got to be decent. And if it's got a Sega sticker on the side, it's a bonus. This doesn't. So I bought the box only for California Games. So it's got a nice hang tab. There is a little bit of discoloration at the top there, but for what I paid, I can't say what I paid for it because it was a price I agree with the guy running it. But as you can see, so my copy of the cartridge, but that manual, not bad at all. Not bad at all, that. So that now takes me down to just 2 games which I've got loose cartridges for. One is Gauntlet, and the other one is Mortal Kombat 2. So yeah, that's the back of it. So California, not a game I'm overly enamoured with, I have to say. It's all right, but not great. But yeah, so I'm just really happy to find an empty box with the manual in it. It's fantastic. Not often I've done that. That's really good. And then finally we went to Hidden Chest. And I thought, well, I'll pick this up while I was down there anyway. I'm sure I inquired about this the weekend before. And I was told, oh no, we sold that. But it might be another copy, I don't know. Anyway, I left the price on it, so you have to see what. But I did pay what the price was for it. And this is the PC Engine. Wow. I've probably only uttered that word maybe 3 times ever on this channel before, maybe 5. So I picked up the Who card for R-Type because it's a game you've got to have for the PC Engine. It's synonymous with that machine. I did check with James while I was down there because obviously it's well worth going around buying these things when you've got a Japanese expert. And he said, yes, R-Type 1, that's half the game. R-Type 2 is the other half of the game for it. He says, but you'll never get past the first 3 levels anyway. And I said, yes, I understand that. Not many people do. But yeah, just to have R-Type to go with my PC Engine is fine. I pay 15 quid for it. I know, but that's what it is. And I know where it's come from. Yeah, funding somebody's retirement again. But no, you've got a PC Engine, you have to have that game. No, no 2 ways about it. So I have a PC Engine. I now have that. I may probably add 2 or 3 more games ever to that. Might possibly R-Type 2. Might be a good idea. But yeah, maybe 1 or 2 games ever I will add to that system, possibly. It's just nice to have that. And then I went out last weekend because we were going to go out, and then obviously Mrs. Bear wasn't all that well. So I said on Sunday, if we're not going to go and do this, because I think she wanted to go look at some storage units. I said, well, and it wasn't where they like the car boot. We went to the car boot in the morning. Did we go to the car boot in the morning? Yeah, this is the week after, wasn't it? Yeah. So, yes, that was it. So, this is the weekend after. Yes, I'm trying to work out where we are now. 29th today, so Revival was the 8th. That was the 15th, so this was the 22nd, wasn't it? Yeah, so, yeah, Saturday, that was it. Saturday, I said, well, if we're not going to go anywhere, I'm going to go up to Vintage Gamer. It was last Saturday, the 22nd. I said, yep. Got to Vintage Gamer, because I've been up there for a few weeks. And it's obviously the week Nick decides to give everybody off, because only him, Joe, the lad who does the testing, and there's a young lady working there as well that day. Sean, etc., all the regular crew were on holiday. And it was really busy. It was really busy. There were a lot of people in there going through and picking stuff up and what have you. So I thought I'll go up there for a while. I haven't been there for ages. And I'll come back with this pile of stuff, haven't I? Oh, pile of stuff. More stuff I don't need. But, yes, it is what it is. I'm not going to go into that anymore. Let's start with the most up-to-date, shall we? Work our way back rather than to pick up the old stuff first. There's a mixture here. Goes right through until, PlayStation 3, backwards. Well, we'll go with that one. So, I picked this up because I must be the only person, actually, no, I'll tell a lie. There's 2 of us in the world who never played this game, me and Mrs. Bear. And I thought, well, I'm just going to grab it, because if I don't grab it now, I'm just going to completely ignore it. Even though I've actually got the remastered edition for PlayStation 4. So I bought that for about 2 years ago, 2 years ago. for Christmas, and she's never played it. Neither have I, actually. So I finally picked it. So I got a copy of The Last of Us on PlayStation 3. This is the obviously pack-in version, so it's not to be sold separately. Yes, never played it. We watched the TV series, but I've never played it. As it should be, it is complete. And I'm sure you've all seen a copy of The Last of Us. I mean, like I said, it must be the only person in the world never to have played it with Mrs. Bear. But there we go. No excuse now. And I have 2 copies of it on different systems. So it's either downstairs or upstairs. There's no excuse to avoid it now. I have to play it at some point. Let's roll back through and do a couple of Wii games. Yes, a couple of Wii games. Because it's been ages since I've bought some Wii. But then again, I'm not actively going out looking. As I say, I don't actively go out looking for certain systems and certain stuff now. And there's a reason for that, because if I did, I'd never find anything. You always come back feeling a tad disappointed that you never actually picked anything up, and you always then buy something that you're perhaps not as enamoured with as you'd like to be. Is that the right way to do it? Maybe. So I thought, well, no, I'm going to pick these up, and if there's anything I hadn't seen before, I'll pick it up, and lo and behold, there was. So we'll start off with this one. I'm not sure why I've picked it up, because I'm probably not really going to play much of it. Not much on it anyway. This is SNK Arcade Classics Volume 1. I don't believe there was a Volume 2. And as you'd expect, it's a very nice one, actually. It's a really nice condition. You don't see much in the back, apart from a list of games, which I shall probably try and read off to you. Art of Fighting, Baseball Stars, 2, Burning Fight, Fatal Fury, King of the Monsters, Last Resort, Magician Lord, Metal Slug, which will be on the Metal Slug anthology, which I've already got, Neo Turf Masters, which is a game for some reason I've always wanted to play, never actually got around to do it, Samurai Showdown, Sengoku, Shock Troopers, Super Sidekicks 2, King of the Fighters 94, Top Hunter, and World Heroes. 16 classic games. Yeah. But yeah, so SNK Arcade Classics into the Wii Wall. It will be at some point. Now this one was in a plastic wrapper, which is always a dangerous sign, isn't it? But having said that, that was in the cabinet and it wasn't that expensive. Doesn't necessarily mean things go in cabinets are that expensive. That's what Nick said. He pulled that flannel on somebody else when I was there the other day. Just because it's in the cabinet, mate, it's not that expensive. Look, he said he's £3. There you go. He's absolutely right. That wasn't £3. That was at the other end of the scale. But yeah, so don't be too scared if things are in cabinets, because they're not quite what they seem. I think did Meatloaf do a song about that one? Objects in the rear view mirror are not quite what they seem. Well, I don't know. So I picked this up. I don't think I've actually ever seen this before in physical presence. I may have seen it online, and it comes in a plastic wrapper. That's always a bad sign, isn't it? I'm going to leave it in a plastic wrapper because it's not actually sealed, but the plastic wrapper is there anyway. And this is a copy of Line Rider Freestyle, which I have absolutely no idea what it is. This is breakneck action on your own tracks. Line Rider Freestyle sends you on a sledge ride you'll never forget. Design the wickedest slopes you can imagine. Share them with your friends or go online. Yeah. So it's sort of drawing lines and things. Ivy the Kiwi you draw a lot of lines on. Drawn to Life you draw lines and stuff on. This may be a similar thing, but yes. So yeah, I just hadn't seen it, and it was very lucky I saw it because they were moving the Wii games around, and some of the stuff went into a cabinet, not this game. Which is strange enough, because I thought, well, that must be worth a few quid because you don't see that very often. Having said that, there was another game in a plastic wrapper which was absolutely worthless, which I'd already got, so I don't know. Yeah, don't be scared of plastic wrappers and cabinets, folks. They're not always what they seem. And then I got a PlayStation 2 game. Why PlayStation 2 game? Why? But no, been banging on about this with the rise of the Atari 2600 following the release of the 2600 Plus last year. I'm still aware I have to do a video about my 2600 Plus. James Retro Import Gamer mentioned this to me. He said, oh, you should pick this game up. And I've seen it in CX a few times, but it was the wrong end of the price scale for me. So I got a better price with Nick on this one. And this is a compilation of the Activision games, so it's Activision Anthology over 45 radical games. There we go. I'm not sure exactly how many of the great titles are on this. There's a list on the back. It also got 80s soundtrack. Blondie, Missing Persons, Soft Cell, Twisted Sister, Wall of Voodoo, and more. But you got games, so you got Barnstorming, Boxing, Chopper Command, the Dragster, Enduro, which I'm really looking forward to playing again after all these years. Hero, which is a drastically expensive game. Kaboom, Keystone Capers, what a classic that is. Mega Mania, Oink, Pitfall, Plaque Attack. I remember playing that. River Raid 1 and 2. Skiing, I used to love skiing on this one. Oh, skiing was great. Star Master, we haven't played for years. And never before released on an Activision compilation. Beam Rider, Bridge Commando. Well, I wonder if that's the conversion of Commando. It says Pitfall 2 on the back there. Space Shuttle as well, we used to come. I think the Space Shuttle come in like an overlay for the console or something like that. And Oddities never before released. Whatever that says. And Thwacker. Wow. Hobber and Thwacker. But yeah, so Activision Anthology, lovely. Because we do like a good compilation, and the chance of owning some of those games may be remote. Let us down the scale a bit for this week. We've gone now from sort of place we were right back to the old days of stuff. The old days. You remember the old days? Yeah, the old days. Let's talk 16-bit micro, shall we? And the Atari ST in particular, because we got a compilation. Yes, we got another compilation. Why did I buy this? Because it was there. It's not bad, actually. I think I've got this for another system, but this is the winning team from Domark and Tengen. Or Tengen, however you pronounce it, I don't know. You got Clax, you got APB, Escape from the Planet of the Robot Monsters, Vindicators, and that last one at the bottom, which I can't remember, called Cyberball. Cyberball, which was set in 2022. So I'm interested to hear that's transpired after all these years. Scantily Clad Lady on the back. Virtualized now, or 10 seconds ago before I showed it. But yeah, so it's all in there. Nice instruction manual, actually, really nice instruction manual. Oh, there's a coffee ring on the back of it. But there we go. At least there's no brown stains all over it. It's a Domark software registration thing. And there's 2 discs as well. Can't say I've checked the discs, but anyway, I don't know. Like I said, yeah, some of these things they work, they don't, do they? You know, it's like Chris over at 005 Agima done a video about cleaning up 3.5-inch floppies, but more concerned about the fact that if they work great, if they don't work, it's fine because it's nostalgia, and that's nostalgia right there for me. Just having that is nostalgia. I bought a copy of Gauntlet 2 a few months back, maybe even a year ago, and we've only just got round to using it in one of the STs Mrs. Bear was testing, and it doesn't quite work all the way. It looks like there is actually a dent somewhere on the actual disc itself, which I should have checked out at the time, but I've just completely transfixed with the box art. I thought that's why we used to buy games originally, the box art. So even if that doesn't work properly, the box art. Strange way of doing it. Why are you buying stuff that doesn't work? You wouldn't buy a car that didn't work, would you? Well, you wouldn't, no, but this is different. You know, I'm spending pounds as opposed to hundreds of pounds. You know, I'm talking a few quid here. Commodore 64, the only game I've got, I'm afraid, Sean. Commodore 64 pickup. This is actually, I think, one of all the rarer budget labels. This is the Blue Kicks label, and this is Swiv, which was a follow-up to Silkworm. Swiv is an amazing shooter. If you've never played Swiv, it's fantastic. I played it on the Amiga 500 Mini, so I missed it for the first time around. Oh, beautifully, I'm sure they're digitised sound effects, wonderfully meaty sound effects, great graphics. It came out on the SNES, came out on the Mega Drive as well, also came out on the 8-bit systems and the 16-bit systems. You ever played Swiv, get a copy. It's a vertical shooter, brilliant stuff, it really is. But this is the Blue Label Kicks. I'm not sure there's many of these knocking around. but sometimes you pay a little bit more for this one. This wasn't overly expensive. You probably won't be able to see much from the back. I think there's a Spectrum shot, certainly. Yeah, they actually look at the Spectrum, possibly Commodore 64, the bottom corner there. You can't see it, but yeah, graphically very impressive on the 16 bits. Not quite as impressive on the 8 bits, but still a very, very good game. I've got this in a compilation called Max, but that's the only other copy I've got. And the thing is, with Commodore 64 stuff, sometimes it's very difficult to find them in these shops, or ones that you want to pick up that you haven't got already. And that was the only one I could find. I really want to get some C64 dual cases. I've got space for those. I could add another 60 of those very easily. But I could never find ones that I want. It's weird. It's weird. Commodore box cardboard I can find plenty of. Budget titles, yes, but dual cases, no. And compilations, I've run out of space for ages ago. And the rest of these are on the Spectrum. Sorry. The Spectrum, yeah. So we've got dual case Bionic Commando. Now this does actually contain the 48 and 128K tapes, so I'm not quite sure they should have been in there. But anyway, I don't know. I didn't think that was the way. I thought it was either a 48K or the 128K, 48K, 128K version. I don't know anyway, but I've got both tapes in there anyway. Good conversion on some systems, not so much on the other. Not a game, again, I'm particularly au fait with. But just dual case. Look at that art. Look, box art again. Nice box art. Next up, we've got a game which I've got already on a number of systems, but it's a racing game. I quite like racing games, and this one was really, really good in the arcade because it used to have a 3D effect on it. Not a great 3D effect, but there used to be like a set of glasses that would come and you sort of put your face into the glasses, and it would just sort of give you pretty much the old red and green sweet wrapper thing you used to get at Christmas when they put Indiana Jones or something on the telly, or Jaws on the telly in 3D. And it was that sort of effect, but it was really good. Honestly, it was a great little racing game. Continental Circus, which should have been called Continental Circuit, but there was a problem with the translation. And yeah, it's a nice little racing game. Spectrum shots at the top there. Yeah, it was nothing outstanding. In terms of a racing game, it was just a very normal racing game, but not bad at all. Not bad at all. So there we go, Continental Circus. Now, why did I buy this? Well, because ironically and bizarrely, I do not own a copy of this game, although I did originally. I had it on the Amiga years ago, and it was a terrible game then. I realised it was a terrible game at the time, and it is regarded as one of the worst games ever made, or most frustratingly worst games ever made. But I never actually had a copy of it in my collection gone through, but I bought it. I thought, must have this somewhere. No, nowhere at all, nowhere to be seen. So finally, we've reintroduced a copy. It had a Spectrum version as well. The Flintstones, or Annoying Painting Simulator, as it's more commonly known. Frustrating Painting Simulator. Yeah, take a look at those screenshots in the top left-hand corner of the bowling alley, and have a look at that section there, the driving section, because you're never going to see them, because you're only going to be able to play the painting the wall level, because no bugger's ever got off that. Woeful game, woeful game. Came out on everything. All the 8 bits, all the 16 bits, even came out on a Master System, for goodness sake. I'm desperately trying to find a copy of that as well. That's the one I need to get. But yeah, so yeah, we had that on the Amiga years ago. My sister bought it. I don't know why. So yeah, Flintstones finally in there. And then last up for the last bit cardboard, some proper cardboard, small cardboard, Spectrum cardboard. Ghostbusters 2, which I think I've got the Commodore 64 small cardboard for. And I forgot, I did see a copy of this on Hit Squad at Revival, but forgot to pick it up because I hadn't got it. Yep, so all nice inside, no pictures of somebody's kids there. Ghostbusters there. We've got the bag for it as well. None of this is in the bag. Nice looking manual. I'm going to put all this in the bag actually afterwards. But also this was really interesting. I found this. So inside there's a flyer for See the Film at Cinema in the EU from December the 1st. I guess that was 1989, was it? I can't remember. Was it 1990? Yeah, I can't read it. But also, what's really... Oh, 1989 says the Frontier. What's really funny, it says, who are you going to call? And there's a telephone number underneath. 0734753 Now, that's a digit now short. So, if you may want to try it at home and see what happens. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that would have been one of these premium rate phone numbers where you rang up and somebody said, hey, Ghostbusters 2 is coming to the Spectrum, the Amstrad. The longer they can speed it out, so you charge like 40p a minute. Or it could be a ghost sex line, because that's the other thing that used to be. I've never seen one in the game like that before, so that's good. Got 16-bit shots on the back, so don't get the idea of that one. Looking like the Spectrum one, but there's Ghostbusters 2 for you. So yeah, more Spectrum cardboard, lovely. Great bit of 8-book cardboard. And then, finally, there is more. There's more. Come here. There's more. There's more. I don't know who that was either. Yes, finally, we went to a car boot. I've been to a car boot 2 or 3 times this year. Not found anything. This was last Sunday. This would have been the 30th, 23rd of June. Tomorrow's the 30th. Yes, and I managed to pick up a game at a car boot. I haven't done that for ages. Not that there was a huge amount there, but. Yeah, so we've done 2 or 3 this year. I've not really seen. There was one a couple of weeks ago. There's a guy selling a load of GameCube, so it was priced to sell. And I've seen a couple of last 2 times, there's some guy selling some retro stuff there, which looks like it's been salvaged from a building site. But he's charging fair price for them, market value a little bit below. He's not trying to rip people off, but just not great condition really. So I'm walking around, just saw this at the corner. I thought, I'm sure I've got the first one. Have I got one of those? There's 2, there's 1 and 2 in this series, and lo and behold, I hadn't got this one. So it was only a couple of quid. So I thought I'd pick it up anyway while I was there. And this is Sports Island on the Wii, because I already have number 2. Yes, and it was all complete. So yeah, my first car boot purchase in about 7 or 8 years. But yeah, there's not usually an awful lot there. I mean, I'm not saying there aren't games there. There are games there. It's just a lot of common stuff, and some of the things people price them at. You go, yeah, just think again. The old tactic. Yeah, we'll stick it on that, but we'll take that for it. But if I walk past somebody trying to sell, a FIFA 19 on the PlayStation 4 for 3 quid. I'm like, yeah, well, I don't know, maybe not. But yeah, so yeah, that's nice. There's a lot of stuff there, anyway. Yeah, I'm going to stop now because I've been rambling. That's it. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to. That's basically the month of June for you in about 45 minutes. Very, very busy. What we've got coming up next? Not an awful lot. Thank goodness for that. No, we haven't. Actually, we're now sort of hitting a quiet period. We've got the next Black Country Gaming Fair, which is coming up at the end of October. Then me and Mrs. Bear off to Scotland for Gordon Gibb 84's and the Turnberry Titans, along with Eddie Dillon, Scott Glory Hunter, Paul the Northerner, Gordon, myself, Mrs. Bear, Chrissy, Ross, and possibly some others as well, doing a 24-hour stream for charity for Glasgow Children's Hospital. That's coming up in November. We got a couple of months, but not a lot on. I know there's a Zap event coming up, I think in August, or was it July? Might be July and August. We may get to that. That's made me think of dear old Richard Tappenden, who I saw at Revival as well. Sorry, Richard, sneaking you in at the end there. I did pass a game on to you as well. But yes, so there is a Zap event coming up. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do about that yet. Wasn't overly enamoured with the Zap Crash events at the location they're using at the Holiday Inn in Kenilworth. Don't know, we'll have to see about that. So it's a long, it's quite an expensive day out, that one, as opposed to a couple of days. So we'll have to see. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, not a lot coming up. So you'll have to see what I'm going to be prepared to do. It must get the old Playboy 24 going again. That'll be quite good. And yeah, but we'll come up with stuff. In the meantime, thank you very much indeed for watching. I'm sorry it's been so long, both in time to do this and time to do this. We hope you've enjoyed it. Until then, we'll see you soon. Take care. I was about to expire. And bye for now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.